Hi, in this video I'll show you some of the new features that we have added to help you test SAP Cloud Platform Integration services. So cloud integration in a lot faster and a lot easier way than we have earlier. And we have been able to support a lot more use cases than before. So right here we have our cloud platform system, and here we have our IRT system. So we can still do a recording. So if we want to do a recording, we can say record messages. We want to get two messages from this flow. We will create a new template. And now we have created a new template for it. We will start record messages. And with this, we are setting the Iflow into trace mode to allow us to catch all the exception that occurs. So I'll send some messages in. And now I've sent the messages in, and if we look at our messages, we can see we got two messages here being sent with trace level, and we can see the trace level, what this means. And in the new version, there's been added some more functionality regarding this. So we can click here, check remote messages. This will download all the payloads that are relevant for this flow, and we get some here. So we're getting some data that we can then use for our testing. So now we have downloaded this message, and we can then create a test case based on this. So we simply just click here, create a test case of this, and we got some data here, that's fine. So now we have created a test case in this specific set with these data. And if we can then look at the data, view test case, here we can see that the different messages, what are the different flows that we have. We can drill in and see the different messages based on this. So now we want to run this test and see if we can still run it. And it works smoothly. We start it up and we can view our results here. Most of the time it's easier to go into the view result. View test cases based testing result. Here we can see that it has status unfinished. We will then do check remote results, and that's give us a download that we need to download a few messages here. It will then download the messages and run its compare script to ensure that everything is correct. And this takes a little while. So now we can see that the result is done, and we can then see what are the different errors that can we see. So we got a difference here. So we can see that something was changed here, and we just want to ignore that. So this is a global parameter that we probably need to. So here we can see where we got an error on the set header field. So we can see that there was a breadcrumb ID that differs. And I think in this one we also got a difference here. So we can see that we have set this time here. So we just click add, we update the time, and then it's the same elements. So we can then go back, we can run the test again, and then hopefully it will ignore these elements. And this would obviously take a little time, so I'll just pause the video for now. So now we can see that the test was successful and everything was compared okay. One other thing that we have added, so there's quite a lot of these steps, and maybe we just want to ignore some of these things, and we can do that just by clicking on this ignore step. Then this one will be ignored, and we will not be able to see that anymore in our processing. So this would help reduce some of these steps that you don't want to do testing on. Otherwise, as default, it will test all elements. So another thing that we've added is on some scenario, we have, for instance, we have this that's scheduled 1. And here we used to have we had a challenge that we could not create test cases where it was as a scheduled task. So if we have our scenarios here, we have a scheduled task here that's called scheduled 1, and this just has a timer that runs once. But now we have the ability to do recording on it, but we cannot trigger this automatically. So what we have done is, if I want to do a test on this one, then I just run this. So I've recorded a sample of it. So this is not working at the moment. There seems to be a bug in it, in the way this is running. So we'll hopefully get that one fixed. But what you can see here is, in the background, we will then get a new flow here deployed, and the earlier one was called 23, now it's 25. So we actually have a new scenario that is synchronized to the existing one, and we can use to do testing on. So this makes it a lot easier to do testing of these scenarios where you just have unrecognizable data source, and if you want to do regression testing on it, you can do it in this way. You still have the option of running it with the baseline test, where you'd send the same message in. Besides that, we've added support for SOAP also, that we'll be able to use SOAP messages and resend those, as we did with the HTTP messages. So that's a little about how we have done it. If you want to try it out, go to figaf.com/IRT and download the tool, try it out and see how well it works in your scenarios. And do give us some feedback about what is working and what is not working. We'd like to hear those things.